No, what shame does is, that low, that's the real you. All the other good things you do, that's all fake. All the remorse you feel, nah, you're not really guilty. This is who you really are. And this is what slammed on someone. And look at how Fir'aun does this ingeniously. He added, وَأَنْتَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. He's putting a label on Musa. You are from the kafirin. You are from those who deny. You're the kind of person who does wrong and denies they ever did anything wrong. This is the Fir'aun's way of saying to Musa that he's narcissistic, that he's so full of himself he can't even see anything that he himself does wrong. You see the irony of that? You see the irony of the greatest arrogant human being that ever lived, that whose example is given in the Quran, is calling Musa alayhi salam full of himself and in denial of his own wrongdoing? It's the power of language, right? And the point of it is to flip the narrative, to turn it around, and for the person who's supposed to have a voice, for that voice to be crushed and silenced. This is the negative side. This is important to mention because a lot of people, this is not just about the story, a lot of people live their life in shame. They look at themselves in the mirror and they hate who they see. They see someone who, the worst things that have happened in their life or that people attribute to them, or their worst mistakes even if you made such mistakes. I'm pretty sure your mistake doesn't amount to anywhere near murder. You understand? Like this is not a small mistake. And Musa alayhi salam has in fact made that mistake. He has made a mistake. He even acknowledged that mistake the moment he made it. So he had guilt the moment it happened. And Allah showed us how healthy guilt is supposed to look. That's in Surah Al-Qasas. When one day we'll have a khutbah about guilt, that's the place to look. Because now a person's made a tremendous mistake. That's not who they really are. He's not a serial killer. He's not a murderer. He's not someone who doesn't have regard for human life. He's lived a life of faith, of goodness, of generosity. And all of a sudden he's made one of the worst mistakes a human being can make. Out of nowhere. So he's way up here morally, and all of a sudden he's way down here in a split second. That's a pretty large fall. And when a person falls like that, it's easy for them to see themselves as, man, I can never get back up. I used to be good, but now I'm this person. This is the new definition of me. You understand? When you accept that terrible new definition, you and I are in big trouble. Because the person who accepts themselves as wrong, okay, fine, I am evil. That is who I am now. You know who that is? At the core of it, that is Iblis. That is the devil. That is Shaytaan. Shaytaan accepts himself as evil and is refusing thereafter to think of himself as anything better, even though Allah created him much better. Allah created him much better. And he has that himself, that hopelessness, that constant self-attribution, and he wants that shame for you and me. He wants us to accept that for ourselves.